Hey, I'm ElusiveKev, Mr. Kern. Welcome to the second round of the Moto3 season. Has 44-year-old Kev Canada looks to bounce back after a disappointing performance in Qatar after having a couple of falls and finishing 30th in that race. Can we do better around the circuit I really do love in Argentina? As here is the grid. Binder on pole ahead of Fanati and Bugalaya. And as you can see, rounding out the top 10 is Bagnana with the Mahindra. And I think I pronounced my name horribly there. I do apologise for that. But also in the last episode, we tried the Monza Rally. We tried a race with the Yamaha M1, I think it is, or the R1, against our fellow VR46 Academy riders. And we did abysmally in those events as well. So overall, it was not a good episode. Hope we can improve in this one.
Everything's ready for the race to start now. We're just waiting for those lights to go out. And the riders will take these last few seconds to focus on the race ahead.
Is it? I forgot to change the colour of the number at the front of the bike because you can't see the 42. But we can see we got a decent start for this 6-lap race. Again, the difficulty is still hard. And it's a 25% race. Is it going to be a bit nicer into this first corner after what we did in Qatar? And oh, getting on way too much onto the curb there, even onto the grass. It's looking round the outside here. Because then it's the inside for the next right-hander. And the run down the long back straight. Didn't get the best run there, went over the curve way too much. Now Suzuki to get a bit away from us, but if we can get some slipstream maybe, getting a little bit at the end of the straight. So can we get the bike into the corner? No, we can't. We run out right so we can get a run out of the corner and back up into our favourite 30th position. So in Argentina, if I remember, the AI a bit fast as well, so we've got to be perfect this race if we want to make up positions and get into the points and get our season started as well. Once again, tyre wear should not be an issue. So that's a good run there, up the hill. Now we're looking to the outside again, are we? Braked way too much though. We are looking to the outside. And now the corner of death. Over the years there's been many clashes here because of moves like that. Somehow we survived. We go across the line in 27th place. Look at that, up to 25th as well, once again getting the first corner a bit wrong. Let's hope we should not cost us too much. So I really do feel that on these bikes as well with the brakes. It's not just stop and go. You're feeling it on the brakes as well, a bit sideways, as you're seeing me try and back the bike into the corners. That's what I used to do with the Moto2 bike and MotoGP 15 as well. That's why it's my favourite bike as well. Because I back it in but could control it. And it seems like they've got that feature now with the Moto3 bikes, which is nice to see. And out of the corner as well, you've got to be careful on the power. And that's something we did not have with the Moto3 bikes in MotoGP 15. So again, there's that difference in the handling. As I say, very similar. 15 it feels like, but just a bit more refined, at least on these Moto3 bikes. As everything else feels similar, but just that power out the corner, braking into the corner, a bit different. As someone had a bit of an incident in front, and whoa, there's a few incidents. We're gonna have to go across the escape road. It was up to 22nd. What happened there? Like someone went wide. And then afterwards, it was just instant after instant, as we are going to dive it down the inside. and take over 21st. So we can see points right in front of us. Let's go on the third lap of this race. Much better than we were in Qatar. It's behind Ono. Gonna knock around the outside. Oh, just a bit of a rider line. Let's see. Oh, we did hook up that corner nicely. Then I got a bit too close on the exit. So I had to get out the power there, but oh, that's better. Now we can get a good run through the right-hander. We do. We're bunny hopping over the curve. Up into 20th. Superb run onto the back straight. Right in the slipstream. Right up into 19th. That's what we need to do every lap. Maybe not the bunny hop, but the superb run. So we'll have to brake a bit there, almost into the back. Well, that is that. That's not Danilo. They're right in front. That's Kornfeld as well. That's Canet. We did a impossible lap in Moto3 on the Circuit of Americas and qualifying for that race this weekend. This is when I'm recording it. This is probably going to go up about a week or two later, but over a second faster than anyone else in qualifying. 0.7 seconds faster than the lap record. What was that guy on? And can I have some? Was he maybe using the Rallycross circuit? Who knows? So now we're battling 4 points. Want to be careful here, don't want to go down as we are into the points. Up into 15 ahead of Bo. Got Locatelli in front, got good slipstream. There's also Kornfeld. Look at that, backing the bike in. And up into 13th. I'm really liking this race. It's a bit wide there through the left-hander. Not happy, but can we get the run through the right-hander? I had to get off the power slightly there. Because I feel the bike pushing there. But we've got Loy ahead of us in 12th. He had a superb race on Argentina a couple of years ago, finishing 4th. And I think the next season he got fired from the team. Not after the Argentine race, I think it was the end of the season, but or near the end, near the middle of the season. But yeah, Loy's been around a few years in Moto3. Showing the odd flash of brilliance. But maybe not enough to go up the ladder to Moto2. But he's still a very young chap, like most of the riders here in Moto3. So yeah, we're using the green AstroTurf. So you know, it's just a cheat line in this game. And look at that, we can see a top 10 in front of us. So about to go on to penultimate lap of the race. They can round the outside of Loy. Could not quite make that work. But we're in the slipstream of the Long Belgium. Looking down his inside. Penultimate lap of the race. Into the first corner. Can we hook up the apex? We can. Get a good run out the corner. Not the best, but it will do. Oh, that's it. That's how to hook up that left-hander. Get it down to first. And a better run through that right-hander. Again, had to do a slight lift. But look, over a second behind 11th. You see a rider stamina, I think that is, at the bottom of the HUD, in the bottom right, going down. As well, totally missed our braking there. Be careful on get on the power. Let's not get overexcited. Because I might have to qualify for these races, but now on hard difficulty. So even with how well I'm riding, not making many mistakes, And still a few seconds behind the leaders, as you can see right in front of us. Totally not cheating again. So they're still over a second behind. There we go, on to the final lap of the race. Can we nick a top 10? It's got Antonelli and Quartararo fighting for a podium. There we go, we've got Navarro and Di Gian Antonio fighting for 9th and 10th. That was better through the first corner. I think that's the best we've done it in this race. So here we go. We're going to go full power out of the right-hander. Bit wide, but it hasn't cost us too much. Just perhaps a slipstream shot going down this back straight, unfortunately. So we're not getting in the slipstream really. There we go, we're gaining a bit now. So I do dive it down the inside, but I've run incredibly wide. Has that cost us our chance at top 10? Because now I'm going to have to compromise into this left-hander. Get compromised through the next left-hander. Or not, as we take 11th. And too far back though. Get a top 10, I think. So we hug that inside line into the right-hander, through the left kink, and across the line in 11th. I'll take that. Very good race. The odd mistake, but our pace seemed to be decent, seemed to be much more consistent. And most importantly, no crashes, as we did the fastest out of the race as well. So, pace-wise, you actually seem to be on there, but starting at the back, we need to make so many places up. We're just losing perhaps too much time in the first half of the race for us to make up in the second. Well, I'll tell you that, Fenati down in 20th. Was he the rider who had that incident early in the race? As Mir wins, just like in real life this year, ahead of Binder, Antonelli, Quartararo, and Borrega. Ran out of the top 5 out. Bastianini, Migno, Di Gian, and Antonio. One day I'm going to get that name right. Bagnaia and Navarro finished ahead of us, just over a second. But just 3.4 seconds off the lead in the end. So if we do qualify, I think that will help us in future races. So we're up to 15th now. 5 points on the board, but 31 points behind the leader. Oh, we've left ourselves a lot to make up. It's KTM with their second win of the season, remaining in the lead ahead of Honda, Mahindra and Peugeot yet to score. But we're going to get some reputation VR points this time around. Nice batch ahead onto the total. And what do we get in skills? Almost all of them improved. It's got added to braking, throttle management, cornering and body position. But very good Argentine race there, but as I said, might have to have qualifying now for future races. So let's check our emails. Got contract offer. Yeah, that's what's going to happen in future. And objectives. So recently race results haven't been very good and the guys are pretty down. I think they are aiming for at least 10th place. So get a moving target now during the season. That's actually pretty good. And now we don't get a rival. Before it used to be like rivals. This was our moving target. Now it seems to be, at least in this game, from Valentino himself. So race options. Let's head qualifying. And let's see how well I do around Austin, a track which has been easy in the past. So let's see if they've actually made it a bit harder for us against AI in this game. So here we are. We're going qualifying in America. Around the Circuit of the Americas. The same circuit that MotoGP Moto2 and Moto3 are riding in real life this weekend. Very much looking forward to the races. So we're just going to do one qualifying effort. So it's basically single shot qualifying for myself. Let's see how far up the grid we can get as we get the first corner totally wrong. But we need to use some rear brake there to get the bike around. But I do love this Austin circuit for the bikes as well as the cars. I probably like them a bit more on the bikes actually over the cars. Despite this third section being much nicer on the cars. Of course, the circuit designed for F1 back in the early part of this decade. Its first F1 race in 2012. If I remember correctly, Sebastian Vettel won in a thrilling encounter against Lewis Hamilton. And I believe there was a back marker involved. I think it was Carthagena, it probably was. Holding up the McLaren driver, allowing the Red Bull driver pass. On the next straight. But on these bikes as well, it is a very challenging circuit. And one of the rare circuits which works just as well on the bikes as it does for the cars. You know, much better than the circuit, say, like Malaysia, which, as I said, doesn't really work for the bikes. And with like off the Canada, like China was beforehand. Their China didn't really work for the bikes either, from what I remember. And it definitely does work with the cars, as you've seen with the F1 races, yeah? Or if you've watched the touring car races around there as well. Very entertaining. This seemed to be having a good lap here. Not many mistakes apart from that first corner. And this tricky turn 8, or reverse turn 8 from Turkey. And the penultimate corner. One of the trickiest on the circuit, but we're not too far off the apex there. And the final corner. Got to get it down to first gear, hook up the apex. Don't do what Loris Baz did, get on the power too early and almost lose it. And to go across the line and do a 220.6, we take pole provisionally. So let's now return to pit. I don't want to retire from Grand Prix. So how do I fast forward the session to the end? It's got motorbike settings. Session info. There we go, skip time. And it doesn't look like they haven't made any adjustments to the qualifying. As you can see, we're still way ahead of the field. That's a problem now on previous MotoGP games as well. So disappointing to see it again in this game, but again, the eerie iterations, very difficult to fix things. We've seen that again. That's on 2 seconds over Binder, Fanati on the front row of the grid. And we're definitely going to get some reputation VR points from that. Look at that, 16,000 VR points. I like that. And we improved most of our skills again, just our rain ability, which we haven't even seen a drop of rain in this playthrough so far, and the braking we haven't improved.
A warm welcome to the United States to all our viewers. We're here at the Circuit of the Americas to bring you live coverage of the Moto3 race. The weather is fine and the temperature is perfect for racing. So we're just waiting to find out which riders have opted for hard tyres and which have gone for the soft.
I would have thought everyone would have gone for the softs. As there I am on par my inaugural Moto3 pole. On the front row there. As we've got Bagnaia rounding out the top 10. And look at me already practicing my blocking into the first corner ahead of Binder, my teammate. Of course, along with Boat. Let's see the rest of the grid. So it's going to be interesting to see how we do at the front of the field.
Taking their places on the grid, and the light is about to go out any second now. This is when the riders have to clear their minds completely so they can give it everything they've got.
No doubt about that, Gavin. They perhaps got to drop that in future games. Doesn't really add too much, does it? So we don't really have that paddock feel in this game, especially. You know, we're working from an office. It's not like previous MotoGP games. Maybe they return to that though in 2017 as we go around the outside of Binder and take the lead in Austin for this 5-lap race. Now let's see if the AI are a bit better in the races than they are in qualifying. As I said, qualifying they're a bit slow. And around this circuit in particular, in previous games, they've been a bit slow. So let's see if we have a bit of a challenge this race. Perhaps I should have had it qualifying after this. Right, it's only like 1.5 seconds ahead of Binder already. He's going up the hill. Now going to sweep down it through the left-hand kink. Into the tight hairpin. There we go, nice and smooth on the power. Do not feel anything at all from a controller then. And now down this back straight. At least the MotoGP bikes hit over 200 miles per hour. Insane, men. It's now almost 3 seconds ahead of Venati, and they go all the way to the left and then back to the right for the braking zone. Oh, that left-hander very tricky, very easy to fall there, especially in the more powerful bikes such as the MotoGP bike and the 500cc. Now the kind of stadium section for the left-hander. Again, smooth on the power, seem to be much better at that than the previous episode, which, as you might have seen, I really did struggle with, as they actually gained some time on me, the AI, during that middle section, in a couple of tenths. Now the final corner. Hitting our marks nicely on this first lap. Getting the rate transfer a bit better as well, as a bit wider in the last corner. I'll take that first lap. What's the gap behind? 3.7 seconds. This might be a quiet race. And we tend to be riding rail around this circuit, which I know very well, of course, from the F1 games. I think they had it in grid or at Sport as well, if I remember correctly. And of course, from the MotoGP games. The circuit is also used for Rallycross, X Games. And I don't just mean X Games Rallycross, I mean actual X Games. It really does turn into an entertainment centre like some circuits that you see on the F1 calendar. Now I'm slightly disappointed to see that bike development seems to have gone with this game. Of course, you know, very different type of career mode to previous games, so I can understand why. Again, hopefully that returns in 2017, as I really did like that, even though it's very, perhaps not nuanced enough, because he always seemed to be very similar, whatever you did during the season. Especially if you're like me and do qualifying as well as races, around halfway through the season you're already done almost everything that you could do to the bike, and done enough to make it, you know, proved it enough to make it a race winner and very comfortable ride to your style. But that's been, you know, changed with the rider now improving. Shame that it's automatic. I would have liked to seen you have a choice to do what you wanted with your rider, but then again, very easy system to abuse, like we see in most sports games. Like we see in the 2K games in particular. That's why I don't do like My Park in those games or the online modes, because guys just, you know, very quickly find the best thing to do in those games, and that's what they've done. As I go down, got too distracted there, talking about other sports games and their kind of RPG leanings. Now that system can be abused in sports games, and took a tumble in the penultimate corner. Perhaps the trickiest corner on the circuit in my eyes, because I can never get it right with 4 wheels, can't get it right with 2 wheels most of the time. As now we've got a 5-second lead ahead of Navarro, and ultimately after the race we can't afford another tumble. Things have gotten slightly interesting now. But as I was saying, with RPG in sports games, very easy system to abuse. You see that with, I remember that with Top Spin 4, where when I got that game, it was about a year after the online modes were really popular. So I just looked online for, you know, the hammiest players you could make. So I remember with the male tennis player, I made this just Hulk of a man. Giant, you couldn't lob him really. And he's all power. It's just power abuse. It's like saying, you know, Serena Williams and the Williams sisters in the early thousands in the women's game, basically. You just seen them turn up and just hit everyone else out of the park. That's what it was like online, except everyone was the Williams sisters. So I wasn't very successful in online there. I think the only 2 achievements I don't have for that game as well are the online mode, so I just got to go back to that game, and I really do wish they would make another top spin game. That game was superb. It was like Virtua Tennis before they lost their way in Virtua Tennis, and you know, they rarely make Virtua Tennis games now as well, which is very disappointing to see. Not many tennis games either, apart from, you know, Mario Tennis, you know, the Wii Sports Tennis back in the day. So go out of stadium section. Made another mistake at the end of the long back straight there, but still the lead is 5 seconds. Just wanted to visit the gravel trap, just see if they were safe, you know. Does seem like it. Well, yeah, what other sports games can you really abuse it? Well, every sports game, can't you? And there's Don Bradman cricket, FIFA games as well. And that's more tied into Ultimate Team, you know. Trying to figure out the best way of doing that. So on the final lap of the race, we also get it with MLB The Show, which I'm playing at the moment on PS4 for the first time ever. As those are PlayStation exclusive games. And it's nice to try out a different sport for me as well. I don't really follow baseball. No, if I do follow the Red Sox. And they seem to be on their way back after a very rough season a couple of seasons ago, I remember. But we've got a great pitcher now. Chris Sale, I believe. Got him from Chicago White Sox, I think. So yeah, we've got a star pitcher. And next time things are getting better for the Boston Red Sox. But yeah, I'm rubbish at that game at the moment. Can't even hit the ball. Or like, at all, even bunting, I'm not that good at. So yeah, lots of improvement there. They also have it in Madden. So, but that's mainly against yourself, you know, in career mode, so then we have that online. Again, that's all orientated towards Ultimate Team now. You know, like the FIFA games. That seems to be what EA are going towards, because no surprise, it gives them perhaps the most money as well, you know, those game modes. People spend ridiculous amounts on those packs. And it seems like 2K and the rest of the sports games makers are trailing behind them. Even though 2K have tried it with the NBA games and it's not been that great, I would say. PES has got it with their F1, or Konami have got it with PES as well. Again, very limited community for that game compared to FIFA. Very limited game as well because of, you know, lack of licenses compared to FIFA. But here we go, through the final corner. I do apologise for a very boring race, but we take our first win in Moto3 on the KTM IO bike. I was just started on pole, built up around a 5-second lead and just kept it till the end. Fastest lap, over 3 seconds faster than anyone else. As Antonelli won the battle for second ahead of Migno, Navarro and Danilo in the top 5. Nice to see. So there is a bit more variation in the results. So criticisms of the previous games were there was not enough variety. It's good to see it's a bit more varied here. In this game as Binder down in 9th. I'm there with Locate rounding out the top 10. So what does that mean for the championship? We were right back in it, just 15 points behind Antonelli, who's taken over the championship lead from Bugaia. whatever his name is. Binder in third, Mir in fourth, and we're rounding out the top 5 level on points with Fenati. And KTM, once again, another win for them, so they lead Honda by 23 points. Mahindra down in a lonely third, while Porsche are even lonelier with no points. So lots of reputation VR points earned this weekend in the Circuit de Americas. What a weekend for us, and lots of skills earned as well. Look at that, we improved braking, agility, cornering, and our physical condition. So that's reached the 50 level mark. But let's have more races like that around the circuit. Yeah, a bit easier against the AI, but we're going to have that consistency and speed. I like that going forward.
Hi, a few teams have got in touch. If you're interested, you can find their offers in team list.
So we're already getting offers again. You know, you've had this in previous games where after 3 races, for some reason you're getting team offers. So a bit strange to see that again in this game. As yes, the team morale has improved with our recent performances. Now we're expected to get at least 6th. Well, I think we're doing that. And what's our contract offer? Well, we've got none from MotoGP teams, of course. What about Moto 2? As hello, we can be alongside Efren Vazquez, Tanucci, Isaac Vinales, or Piscini. I'm actually kind of tempted to move up. As have we unlocked the other 2? Yes, we have Moto 3 teams. Should we switch to the Honda? Should we go alongside Navarro and Canet? Why not?
Received. I'll take care of all the details. You'll be racing with them in the next race.
God, that was very bot-like, wasn't it? Received. But now our team objective is still to, you know, 6th place is surely within our reach. So that ends another episode or playthrough of Valentino Rossi, the game. Very successful episode. Bounced back very well after our first race of this season. Right back in the title hunt. So next off is Jerez. So out for watching, and I'll see you then.